Did you know that the United States is home to over 4,000 species of bees, most of which you've probably never seen? While honeybees steal the spotlight, countless other species work silently in forests, farms, and cities, keeping entire ecosystems alive. But behind this buzzing harmony lies a fragile world, one that's far more complex, mysterious, and endangered than most people imagine. Bees are among the most fascinating creatures on Earth. They are tiny architects of life, pollinating plants, producing honey, and maintaining the balance that sustain our food systems. Yet, in the US, their story goes far beyond flowers and hives. From the deserts of Arizona to the apple orchards of Washington, bees are woven into the American landscape, shaping its agriculture, culture, and even its economy. They are responsible for pollinating nearly 1/3 of the food Americans eat, from almonds to blueberries. Without them, grocery store shelves would look emptier and entire farming industries could collapse. But here's the twist. While most people picture bees as cheerful little workers, the truth is darker and more mysterious. Over the past few decades, the US has witnessed a silent decline, entire colonies vanishing overnight, wild species disappearing from regions they once dominated. Scientists call it colony collapse disorder, but even today, its full cause remains a puzzle. So today, we'll uncover the hidden world of American bees, exploring their secret lives, their astonishing intelligence, and the mysterious threats that put their future and ours on the line. When most people think of bees, they imagine the honeybee, golden, striped, living in neat hives and working under a queen. But honeybees are immigrants. They were brought to North America by European settlers in the 1600s. Before that, the continent already buzzed with thousands of native species, wild bees unlike anything most people have ever seen. There are bumblebees, sweat bees, carpenter bees, mason bees, and even leafcutter bees, each with a unique role in nature. Some live alone, burrowing into sand or wood. Others build tiny mud nests. And here's a strange fact. Many wild bees don't make honey at all. Their mission is purely ecological, to pollinate wildflowers, forests, and crops that don't depend on honeybees. In the grasslands of Kansas, for instance, scientists found that just a handful of wild bees pollinate hundreds of native plants. Without them, those ecosystems could collapse, and with it, the birds, insects, and animals that depend on those plants. So, while the honeybee became a cultural icon, the real guardians of American nature are often invisible. Their work is silent, vital, and vastly underappreciated. If you think of bees as simple insects driven by instinct, think again. Inside a hive, something remarkable happens. A collective mind forms. Bees communicate through an intricate language of vibrations and movement. The most famous is the waggle dance, a figure-8 motion that tells other bees where to find flowers, water, or even a new nesting site. Through this dance, they share direction, distance, and quality of food sources, all without a single word. But their intelligence goes deeper. Studies at the University of Vermont revealed that bees can count, recognize human faces, and even understand concepts like same and different. In experiments, they've learned to solve puzzles and open containers to access nectar, skills once thought impossible for creatures with such tiny brains. Even more fascinating, bees show signs of emotion-like states. When stressed or deprived of sugar, they behave pessimistically, similar to how humans react to negative emotions. It's as if these small creatures have moods, preferences, and perhaps even a glimmer of consciousness. For centuries, people saw the hive as a symbol of order and obedience. But science now paints a more mysterious picture, one of complexity, cooperation, and maybe awareness. In 2006, something terrifying began happening across the United States. Beekeepers would open their hives only to find them eerily empty. The queen was still there, along with a few young bees, but the workers, tens of thousands of them, had simply vanished. No dead bodies, no signs of disease, just silence. This phenomenon was named colony collapse disorder, and within 2 years, it spread across dozens of states. Entire apiaries disappeared. Almond farms in California lost up to 40% of their pollinators in a single season. Theories flooded in: pesticides, parasites, viruses, climate change, electromagnetic radiation. Each played a role, but none fully explained the mystery. It was as if the bees had been called away by something unseen, a quiet, invisible catastrophe. Today, colony collapse has slowed, but bee populations continue to decline. The real danger isn't just the disappearance of honeybees, but the slow, unnoticed loss of wild species. And unlike honeybees, wild bees can't be bred or transported to new locations. Once they vanish, they're gone. In the vast story of life on Earth, the silence of bees could... To understand America's obsession with bees, look no further than its farmlands. The U.S. produces nearly $15 billion worth of crops every year that depend directly on pollination. Every February, a strange migration begins. Thousands of flatbed trucks loaded with millions of bees travel to California's Central Valley, the world's largest almond-growing region. For a few short weeks, those orchards come alive with the hum of life as bees pollinate over 1 million acres of trees. When the job's done, they move on to apple farms in Washington, blueberry fields in Maine, and orange groves in Florida. It's one of the most complex agricultural partnerships on Earth, yet it's also a fragile one. Overworked, transported across thousands of miles, and exposed to pesticides, these commercial bees live shorter lives. The system feeds America, but it's pushing bees to their biological limits. Farmers now experiment with alternative pollinators, mason bees and blue orchard bees, native species that work efficiently in smaller areas. They don't produce honey, but their pollination power is astonishing. It's a glimpse into a more sustainable future, one that values biodiversity over productivity alone. Not all bees live in wild meadows or rural farms. In recent years, cities across America, from New York to San Francisco, have become unexpected havens for bees. On rooftops, balconies, and community gardens, thousands of urban beekeepers now maintain hives amid skyscrapers. Surprisingly, urban bees often thrive better than rural ones. Why? Urban environments have fewer pesticides, and flowers bloom for longer periods thanks to ornamental gardens. In Chicago, hives buzz on top of the City Hall building. In Detroit, abandoned lots have been transformed into pollinator sanctuaries. Even major tech companies like Google have installed rooftop apiaries at their campuses. But beyond honey, these efforts are symbolic. They represent a growing movement to reconnect people with nature, to remember that even in the most industrialized society, life still depends on the humble work of insects. Urban bees are rewriting the relationship between humans and the natural world, one rooftop at a time. Bees are more than just pollinators. They are living indicators, a mirror reflecting the health of our planet. When they thrive, ecosystems flourish. When they struggle,